Patricia asked me what inspires me with my work, given the fact that I come from this community, I'm a born child. I saw how the war affected my community, how women were raped. Yes, I had the chance to leave immediately. The war was there, but even as I left, we still held in our hearts, we have to go back home. So when my parents and all of us left to go to Kampala, the city center, we still knew there was something we left behind, and that was helping the people that were affected, the people that were in the IDP camps, that is the camps that were already there, girls and women that were sexually abused at that time, children who were sleeping in very dangerous, terrible places in those camps. All this was too much. And so when I got an education, thank God my parents and family are very passionate about education. And when they asked me, Harriet, what do you want to do? I knew deep down in my heart, I had to do something to help these children, these women, these girls. So that brought me back, and I went to school and I studied a program on social science, but also with a master's in gender studies. I knew I had to help the women. And peace and conflict and human rights have been the center for my passionate work, and they've been my drive, because I am very passionate about the rights of women and the rights of children. And so that's something that helped me build this organization with a small team of young people. We knew we had to do something. So we went back to the camps. We supplied the community with the nets. We talked to women who were already affected, who were sexually abused. And that's where the issue came. So, okay, we have so many women who have been abused, and these girls. So what is it that we can do to help them? It's from there that I knew that my calling was to help these women and these girls. And for the last, we're making 15 years next year. So in the struggle of empowering, of working and advocating for the rights of women and girls. So for me, this is something that I'm very passionate about. That is what drives me. And that's how I met.
Sorry for interrupting you. And you've seen results, I guess, after doing your work and, you know, focusing on women's rights, especially survivors of the conflict, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So that's where our work has been really at the center of helping them, to give them that hope of healing, but also help them economically, because our programs are holistic. We look at the psychosocial, we look at the community healing, but also we look at the economic healing, because we know these women went through so much and they need a hand. They need a hand. So as a result, we met the children as well who were born as a result of sexual violence, conflict-related sexual violence. And we have a number of them. There's so many. We've registered over 100 plus young, now they are young people. I can say they are youth, because at that time they were children, but now they are youth. They are between the ages of 16, 15, all the way to 20 years old. So they are still young, but they've grown into struggles. We still have others that are below the ages of that, pretty much. Now those are young people now giving birth to children born by children of the war.
Yeah.
So there is the generation now that is there that has come up. So this for us is something that we're still grappling with. How do we help them? Because as a result of most of these children who are born of war, they have grown into young people. But because of the issue of identity, they don't even know where they belong. So you find them just moving anywhere, and before they know it, they're forced into marriages. Okay, and the girls, some of the girls have also been subjected to sexual violence. Now, this is sexual violence after. And yet these are girls who were born in times of war, and now they're also experiencing sexual violence after the war, which is something that is so heartening because of the stigma around them. People think they're products of sexual, so there is attachment of the sexual violence to them. And because they're not taken as children of the community, the issue of identity is still something they're grappling with. Belonging, because they don't have land, they don't have a father figure that can protect them. The parents or the mothers do not even have a place to say that, okay, these children belong to this, because in our culture, children belong to the father. And so you are attached to a clan. So that is an identity for me as a child. If my father is there, I identify as my father's child clan. So that clan of my father.
Stop you a second and
Yes.
add to this. That was the goal of the sexual raping as a war weapon.
Weapon of war,
the
yes.
community, heart of the community, because they knew that these children will be rejected, and even the abducted girls would be rejected because of the sexual violence. Am I right?
Yes. And it has become a generational curse, if I could say, because the mothers are also facing the issue of stigma. The children are facing the issue of stigma. So the stigma is becoming a generational issue. It's from one generation passed to another generation, and it's going to pass on to another generation.
Can I stop
it's not
a second? Could you focus also on the children that were soldiers and they were rescued by their mothers or their own family? Do you have those children?
Yes.
Not
so
children anymore?
So we have the young people, okay, the children also child soldiers at that time, but now they've also grown up as young people. And as I was sharing with you just, I think yesterday, these children have become a problem to the community because they grew up in the bush. So they know how to behave in a bush way. Let me quote that. They are not rehabilitated and brought back at home. So they're still lingering out there. Some of them have gotten married, but even as they're married, they are very violent. So we've registered cases of violence, domestic violence, within their homes because they did not get any kind of support to mentally heal them, to mentally rehabilitate them, emotionally, psychologically, and to make them be able to live a life again that promotes peace in a home. So we have some of those young people that we've registered, and most of them did not go to school. They've never gone to school. So the only job they do is to just sit around in the community. And some of them are really passionate about going to school, but they do not have the money. Then you find girls of that age, some girls who are also girl soldiers. They are also there. So these children, now young people, are there. And for us as a community, we know this can be a time bomb for us. Recently, we had a scenario in the district, but let's say in the town of the district. And some of these children, yes, it was said that some of these were children who were captured, okay? And we know that is not a good sign. If they are that violent, it's like a time bomb you're sitting on and you don't know how it will come up. I mean, they are trained. They know how to be, they know how to fight, So this issue of child soldiers that were not integrated, and now they are young people, and they are part of the 40 million young people we have who are trained, given the fact that they've been in a space where there is war. So it's very important to see how to rehabilitate them. We
Do
had
you
a
have,
conversation.
sorry to interrupting you again, Harriet.
Yes.
Please tell me any inspiration or project you have regarding in these times, during COVID times, and now focusing on this subject of children of war. Could you tell us and some of your projects, the ones that inspire you and you could share with to us?
I think for me, what inspires, the one we are running now is we're calling it e-counseling, where we're using the mobile phone to reach out to these communities, to reach out to these survivors, to reach out to the children, and just talk to them on the phone. Of course, it's very expensive. So it's not something that we can sustain because our face-to-face programs have been challenged because of COVID-19. But what inspires us is the fact that they are willing to get help in any way because they know it's the only way they can connect, the support group. In that way, we still keep our support group to make sure psychologically, emotionally, they're still okay. So the leaders have been very helpful. So we use the leaders' phones to call in and check in on how the young people are doing, the women are doing, and the men themselves, and the children. So it's for us, it's something that keeps us going, even if there is no direct community support meetings. We are really trying our best to reach out to them through the phone. And also the radio, so that we continue with our message of peace, message of forgiveness, which is something that is very, very important.
So justice, especially during this post-war transitional justice programs that you are very active in, right?
Yes, yes. So that's what we're doing right now. And also, we would also want to thank some of the people that came out to us, some friends. These children needed food. We were able to get just a little food. It wasn't as much as it should be, but it's something we're proud of, that communities are trying to join in to see, okay, these children need support. And of course, we still need support to help them, given that they still need help. And also what inspires me the most is these children are asking us to set up like a program that helps them in literacy. Meaning they want to learn, they want to improve on themselves, they want to educate themselves. Yes, they do not have money to go to school, but if we can only have a program for them. And so the young people were saying, is it possible for us to have a program on literacy education for us, economic empowerment programs for us? So for me, that's something that I feel like is amazing. They want to change their lives, and it is them speaking about this change. So the change is from them. They are identifying these issues.
Inspires you back to working on this, right?
Exactly, exactly. And even the girls that were born of war, some of them really struggle to finish like primary school, and they want to go back to secondary school. But because they don't have the finances to push for their education, but they want to go back to school. They want to create a group where they know, as girls born of war, they want to have a voice, a safe space for themselves. So for me, this is something that is very key. And I feel like if we push it further, if we get more hands joining in to help us push this, of course, financially, that's where we stand. It would make a big difference in building a momentum of peace, building a community that embraces a culture of peace and a culture of dialogue, and creating a safe space for children born of war, or children who are women who are survivors of conflict-related sexual gender-based violence. So if we have this kind of support, I think for me, it's something that builds it. And the fact that they still, in their mind and heart, they still onto the concept that was brought to us by EMDR's paying team. I think for me, it is still something that I'm so passionate about. Even when I call them, they always tell me, we still believe in our butterfly hug, because it's comforting them. Yes.
I'm so
it
happy
comforts
to hear
them.
this.
It still comforts them.
Harriet.
It still comforts them, Patricia.
I'm
And we will
so happy
continue to thank you for that.
I
They've
felt
not
bad.
forgotten it.
It was a work that we did with your help and your team, especially all of you were part of our program. Without you,
Yes.
we could not have done anything, you know.
True.
We just
But thank you.
and you supported us, and to implement and introduce the butterfly hug, to install positive emotions through games and cultural games, songs, and sports. And it was amazing, the results. And so
Yes.
we'll be back, definitely, and we hope soon. EMDR Europe is focusing, and in Spain also, on supporting EMDR Africa. And so we'll be there, I hope, 2021. And let's make an effort, and you know that you count on my support, and whatever I can do to support your work and your community.
Thank you.
In my hands, I'll be supporting you.